Hey guys, how are you all? Happy solar eclipse in Taurus. I was actually trying to record this video and just upload it, but as I was doing it, I'm like, I need to do this live with all of you. One is there may be some downloads that come in for some reason when I go live with you guys. I just start to get downloads on top of what I'm already going to share with you. But also, it's just nice to hang out with you guys. I haven't been doing as many lives, and that's probably going to change for the month of May. And this solar eclipse in Taurus is pretty wild. The big keyword here is reinvention. And I do believe that reinvention is being inspired or catalyzed through this particular solar eclipse because your destiny is calling you and there is no more time to wait, to defer. And that is kind of coming in through one of the harder aspects of this solar eclipse, which is Saturn squaring the nodes. But to be honest, that's the only difficult aspect of this particular event. Everything else is very beneficial. All of the alignments are helping you, they're assisting you, and they're all happening with very fortuitous aspects within the sky. So this particular solar eclipse is happening at 10 degrees of Taurus, and Uranus is sitting at 14 degrees of Taurus. So they're very, very close. Uranus is influencing this eclipse in a very big way. Uranus likes to bring in change. It likes to bring in the idea of reinvention. It likes to liberate you from things. It likes to think about the future. It's very forward thinking. And there is something about the practicality of Taurus energy, the day-to-day living, the slow and steady progress that Taurian energy brings that will liberate you into an area of your destiny that you've perhaps been avoiding, not because you don't want it, but because there are certain aspects that you've been afraid to face that you haven't allowed yourself to step through. And now your hand is being forced in a way. And that is coming from Saturn, beautiful planet Saturn, but it's doing it because it's time. It's kind of like a make it or break it moment through this solar eclipse that is occurring. So what you guys are going to be noticing is there is like a new beginning, a portal opening here that is bringing in a new opportunity for you to step forward and work towards something over the next 3-6 months, possibly even a year, depending on where this is falling for you in your chart. If it is falling for you, if you are a Taurus sun or rising, this is going to be very powerful for you. If you have any planets within Taurus, look at what degrees they are falling at, because if they're falling within 4 to 5, 6 degrees of 10 degrees in Taurus, you're probably going to be feeling this eclipse the most. You also can look at where the North Node is, which it's sitting around the 23 degree mark or so. And so if you have any planets in Taurus around there, you're also going to be feeling it. But also, I want to say, for those of you in all the fixed signs, so Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, you're all going to be feeling this eclipse as well, probably the most. Doesn't mean that if you aren't a sun or rising in that, you won't be feeling it. It's just important to look at what planets you have in those particular areas. Now, Taurus represents our finances. It represents our value system, how much we value ourselves, other things. Taurus represents the land, agriculture, anything earth-based. And so something is occurring within those themes for you at this time where you are being called to reinvent either yourself, reinvent an area of your life to allow you to step forward into your destiny. There is something that has to change, And you guys may be feeling that there's some sort of sudden change occurring or a sudden change in circumstances that again is forcing you to do something differently. And as you guys in my alchemy program know, we are completing our first 30-day challenge today. We're going to start a new one. Today's the 30th. We're going to be starting one tomorrow on May 1st, a new 30-day challenge. And what's really beautiful in how all of these have lined up is that the challenge offers us the practicality to do things day by day and to put into practice something step by step, which is very much what this solar eclipse is bringing forth for us and asking us to develop, not just in the next few days where the energies are going to be this most potent, but over the next 3 to 6 months. And again, possibly even a year, because this is going to develop. Eclipses don't happen overnight. The information is actually, part of it is hidden from us at this time. So some of the information you're not going to know, and it's going to develop over the next few months. And you're going to see exactly how you need to perhaps tweak something, add something, and continue to move forward. Now, if any of you are really wanting to step forward into an area of your life, perhaps it's a goal, maybe it's a dream, and you're really serious about wanting to make it happen and not allowing your fears to hold you back or old belief systems to hold you back, you may want to think about joining Alchemy and participating with us in the 30-day challenge, because it's really supportive and we track our progress together on a shared tracker. So there's a lot of that Taurian energy that's kind of coming in here. This particular solar eclipse has some very beautiful energy attached to it because Taurus is ruled by Venus. And Venus is currently in Pisces and is within the next few hours going to exactly conjunct Jupiter. So you have the two most beneficial planets, in our sky coming together in Pisces, where both planets are in a position of power because Venus is exalted in Pisces and Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. And so both planets are very comfortable and have a lot of power in this sign. And Pisces is all about our dreams, our fantasies, our intuition. And so you have these two planets coming together and having a conversation about what needs to happen in order to make some of your dreams come true. How do these two planets open up doors of possibility for you to step through and make the big changes that Uranus could suddenly be bringing forward in your life and Saturn is asking you to do? So Venus and Jupiter are coming together in Pisces, but they're also creating this beautiful sextile to the North Node in Taurus. And this sextile is a door opening energy, okay? Sextiles to me are door openers. And so you have these two planets having a conversation with the North Node, which is all about your destiny, your future, stepping out of your comfort zone. And so they're having this conversation saying, if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone right now, and you're willing to step onto that path that you know has been calling to you from deep, deep within, we're going to open some doors for you. We're going to remove barriers where barriers have been before. And I love this because, as you guys know, on one of my last shows, I mentioned one of my last videos, I mentioned that to me, when we really allow ourselves to change our relationship with our fears can often become, lighthouses to our greatest potential. And this is what Jupiter and Venus are kind of doing for us. They're like, we're kind of like highlighting the potential here for you to step into. And not only is Venus and Jupiter having this door opening energy with the North Node in Taurus, but they're also having this door opening energy with Pluto in Capricorn, because they're also having a sextile with this planet. And Pluto is very transformative, right? Pluto wants you to transform the situation. It also wants you to really dig deep. And now with Pluto just going retrograde yesterday in Capricorn for its final full retrograde in Capricorn before it finally moves into Aquarius in 2023, we're being asked to really reflect and go deeper than we've ever gone before into our own psyche, into our own soul, into our past, right? Pluto rules Scorpio, and that's where the South Node is. And the South Node represents our karma, our past lives, and really asking us to look at the things that we have been so scared to look at, bring them to the surface, and say it's time to transform them. It's time to release what isn't serving us anymore so that we can step forward onto this new destined path that Saturn is almost forcing our hand to step onto now, whether we like it or not, saying it's time. There is no more waiting. And again, this has been a theme that I've been talking about since the beginning of 2022, that there are so many manifestation opportunities here for anyone who's willing to finally break free of the old paradigm and break free of a lot of the stuff that's kind of happened over the last 2 years and put all of your energy and focus into you and what you would like to create, the life you want to live, the dreams you want to manifest in this now. And there is help here. And this particular solar eclipse, from my perspective and what I'm getting for it, is an opportunity to completely reinvent yourself for your destiny. Okay. And there is in some ways a little bit of a reinvention of your destiny happening at this time. If you guys haven't checked out the podcast where we talked about the blueprint of your destiny, please re-listen to it or listen to it if you haven't already, because we do have opportunities through all of our choices at any given moment in time in our life. We do not have to have a near-death experience to go to the other side, look at our own blueprint and change it, to have to do this. It is constantly in flux and changing with every choice that we make. And we have this opportunity right now to say, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready for more. I'm ready to not live as small as perhaps I've been living at this time. I'm ready to remove my own shackles of limited belief systems, shackles of, old programs, and release myself. And by doing something in a very steady and progressive way that will allow me to, over time, reveal the destiny itself. And so you have this great energy of Venus and Jupiter doing this for us right now. Now, Pluto is also trining the North Node in Taurus. So you also have a trine is one of the best aspects you can have. And this trine is further intensifying this eclipse, asking us, with Pluto and Capricorn representing our own authority, our own leadership, okay? How we want to be the leader in our own destiny. What do we need to reveal here? What do we need to step into that perhaps we have not stepped into yet? And so these are all the big questions that are coming up. For me, this solar eclipse is playing out exactly as I predicted in our alchemy call a few weeks ago. And I'm glad that I'm actually doing this video now, because looking back at the notes that I took for this particular solar eclipse is helping kind of put me at ease over some of the stuff that's been happening, because the energies here are scary and at the same time exciting. And so there are things that are being pulled up to the surface for us to face that are scary. And that's because we've been avoiding these particular elements that are necessary to the major recipe of our destiny actually being fulfilled. And saying it's time. It's time. There's no more waiting. There's no more deferring. It's time to act now on this and face it. But face it knowing that in a way, the astrological skies have your back. If you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, we have your back. Venus and Jupiter are there trying their best to open up all the doors possible to remove the barriers that have been in place at this time. And so, in a way, Saturn is saying to us, it's time to grow up. When it's squaring, it's having this conversation through the nodes, the South Node and the North Node. It's saying it's time to grow up. It's time to, kind of in a way, act like the parent that you need right now to be that encouragement that pushes you when you're not ready to push yourself. And so this might be a really great time for you guys to also bring in the inner child and have that conversation where the inner child is kind of going through all the fears that they're scared of facing. I had to do that with my inner child in the shower yesterday. Scared of facing. I had to do that with my inner child in the shower yesterday. Literally had a breakdown because there's some amazing things happening, but at the same time, the most fucking scary things are also coming up, and literally having to have that conversation where it's going to be okay. We're just going to face it. Like there's no more, we don't have to worry about what's the word? I think that we create these stories or narratives in our head that are way worse than what's actually happening. And this solar eclipse is so powerful. At least I'm most definitely feeling it, partially because my sun and Mercury are within 4 degrees of this solar eclipse on either side. So I am experiencing this intensely, not to mention my Chiron is in a wide conjunction to this solar eclipse. So there's a lot happening here for me, a lot, and I'm feeling it very, very intensely. On top of that, it is almost exactly opposing my Uranus in Scorpio. So there's like a lot of change happening that's affecting the way I've done things in my own way, that is now forcing me to have to reinvent certain things that are going to support me in my future. So you may be noticing that you're being called to change the way you've been handling things in your day-to-day, or maybe there's certain things that you have to get tighter with in how you're managing. And it may have worked for you up until this time, but now it's time to shift those because you're going into a new part of the journey that requires you to be bigger than you've been up until this point. So Pluto is truly asking us to transform ourselves and to dig as deep as possible so that we have the courage to step onto this path and to give it everything that we have. And this is going to come through very practical steps with that Taurus energy. This isn't about, it's not necessarily about reinventing the wheel, so to speak, but taking the practical steps and doing things in a bit of a tighter management style that allows you no wiggle room to be lax, to leave room for error. It's really asking for us to show up every day in a certain fashion that is committed and dedicated, responsible, and doing what is necessary to allow that destiny to unfold in the way that is aligned with your highest good and that future timeline. So this reinvention of your destiny is kind of coming up with this solar eclipse. And we do have Jupiter moving into, sorry, there's just a little orb that just flew by in my room. The energies have been so active lately while I'm doing these videos with you guys. So the Jupiter is moving into Aries, okay, on the 3rd. So just a few days after this solar eclipse, and Jupiter moving into Aries is really expanding our sense of self, how we're motivated to initiate things in our lives, to take action, how we're inspired. And I love this energy coming in just after the solar eclipse, because it is going to require a lot of inspired and motivated action on our part in how we're wanting to show up for our destiny. How do we want to step onto that path and make it happen? And right now there's just more, let me just say this. Although that energy is coming in, I want to say that right now this eclipse is just asking us to manage everything through planning and organization, and start implementing slowly to know that things will reveal itself over time. Solar eclipse, there is some information that is hidden from us right now. We don't have all of the answers. The answers that we're needing are going to show themselves to us over the next few months, that will kind of be those last puzzle pieces that will fit into place, that kind of be like, okay, now everything makes sense. Now I get it. But perhaps had I known that, I may have done things a little bit differently, or I may have shied away because it was too much information to process. So the other thing that's happening during this particular solar eclipse is, see, now my makeup's running because I started crying, is Mercury is moving into Gemini today as well. So Mercury is at the 0 point of Gemini. Now, Mercury is our planet of organization, communication, planning, structure. And with it coming in at the 0 degrees, there's also a portal here of like that 0 point energy that really intensifies it, going into its home sign, where it is also very powerful, but it's bringing in that element of the necessity of strategy, organization, planning, possibly having hard conversations at this time, to not allow that to like kind of go in the back burner. And that's definitely something that's come up here, is that, okay, some of the information, I don't know if I want to know it, but I know I have to face it. And maybe it's not going to be as bad as I think it is, but that part of me that's scared of having these hard conversations in order for me to step forward is also kind of coming up. So you may notice that this is happening. It's not meant to deter you. It's meant to inspire you to face the fears, because that potential that's waiting for you is so much brighter and bigger than the fear itself is presenting. The fear right now is acting almost like the eclipse, the moon over the sun. Okay, so the moon represents our shadow elements, our unhealed wounds, the things that we're not willing to face, possibly even the things that confuse us. It's our fears, and it's kind of putting a big shadow across the sun as it comes into play today. And so some of those fears will be illuminated in a way that they're going to kind of take the front seat, and they could make this time period a little scarier, but it's not to prevent you from moving forward. It's to show you what is important right now for you personally to face going forward. And so this could be around your finances. This could be around your personal resources. This could be around how you value your own self, how you value certain things in your life that are maybe coming up in certain circumstances. This could also have to do around things that are beautiful to you, because Venus is very beautiful. It could also be like the feminine energy, the certain aspects of your own feminine energy coming up into play with the Taurian energy. But overall, there is something here that is, the solar eclipse is kind of creating a surprise element, something you weren't expecting, but having to face anyway. And in a way, it is coming up to liberate you. So this is like, it's a beautiful solar eclipse, but at the same time, there's a lot of fears coming up with it. But I want to say this, the energies are ripe to open the doors if you're willing to face the fears and step through. it's kind of like you will be rewarded if you can face the thing you've been really deferring. And for me, I've been deferring this for years. This is something I've known, I've not wanted to face, but I've been wanting to move past. But there's an element here that's very scary for me, and it's now coming up. So this could be something that is recent for you, but it could also be something that for years you've been battling, and now you're being called to really step onto that. So big opportunity, big opening, very powerful here. Eclipses are always more powerful than the regular moon cycle. So this is a new moon in Taurus, but it's really opening something up. And we're going to get more information. Again, as I mentioned, because Uranus is a star player in this particular solar eclipse, Uranus is conjuncting the North Node late July through early August. And this is where Uranus is going to have a very big conversation with your destiny, with your future path. And I feel like there's a lot of information that's going to come forward, or there's going to be a major shift in change at this time that will reveal to you, if the steps you have taken are being rewarded, or did you not take the steps and stay in your fear. I think that if that's the case, you may have a tougher time with the Uranus North Node conjunction that's coming up in midsummer, because this is going to be a tough conversation, right? Uranus is all about we're forward thinkers. We got to liberate whatever shackles are bound to us. We're removing them. And it's also, I want to say this, guys, it's also about separating yourself from the pack. Okay. This is about you not doing things the way everyone else is doing, or the way that, everything has been done up until this point. This is, again, reinvention, doing things very differently, separating yourself from all the things that keep you in bondage to the ordinary. And when I say the ordinary, I mean the way things are expected of you, the way things have always been done, and it's time to break free of all of that. So for those of you who are interested, if you want to join the Alchemy program, we're starting our 30-day challenge tomorrow. And we have a tracker that we're all on, and we can track everyone's progress. We can leave notes from the universe on there, and it allows you to be accountable to yourself and help others be accountable to themselves. And I think it's going to be a really cool next few months to watch all of this unfold. Some of you in the Alchemy program have been reaching out to me personally to thank me for what this 30-day challenge has done for you. So many of you have been breaking free of things that you thought you were bound to and you weren't going to be able to break free. And it's completely shifted your life. Things that you thought you'd have to do in a different way has now been like, wow, I actually was able to get through that. And even though there's still these problems, I'm still making this happen. And I didn't think that that was possible. So steady, slow progress is the theme of Taurus energy of the eclipses. Because the North Node is in Taurus, our destiny is hinging on us showing up in that day-to-day slow progression, not skipping steps, and doing things in that steady, slow, progressive way. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing well. Do you guys actually have any questions for me since I'm here live with all of you? And also, another thing, for those of you who've been booking the astrological, like if you want me to help you kind of look at your astrological natal chart and see what you need to know about what's coming up for you, maybe in the next 3 to 6 months astrologically. If you want that session, please book an intuitive coaching session, not the tarot and coaching session, okay? I won't be doing tarot with your astrological chart development, so make sure that if you are wanting to book that session, that you do it through the intuitive coaching link, okay? And all the links are down below to book that. And I'm just so super stoked. And so I hope, like, I wasn't expecting to be so vulnerable on this particular this live stream with you guys, but it's real. And I guess it's happening because some of you may be going through that. If the fear is deep enough and big enough, it could become overwhelming where you may not understand why it's all coming up. And I hope that this video inspires you to rise above it, to face it, and know that you have all of the supportive energy right now to open the doors or remove the barriers that need to be removed for you to step past that fear and step into your own destiny. Okay. Let me just see the live chat here. If you guys have any questions. Oh, Rob was here. Rob, oh my goodness. I'm going to respond to your email. I have that on my to-do list. Love, Shelley. Every day choosing the highest timeline and saying that limiting belief or fear no longer holds me back, taking steps forward every day. Yeah, the best way to face a fear, guys, one little baby step at a time. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. You don't have to be the hero of that fear in one fell swoop. Just one step at a time. And before you know it, days, weeks, even a month later, you're going to look back and go, wow, I made that progress. And that's what that 30-day challenge is in place for us to do. So, let me see here. Michael, so hoping you are happy with level of insanity going on out there. I imagine the other side must have a lot of work to maintain it together. What is good is they don't have linear time handicap. We're all going through this. Every single one of us has something we've got to go through. And it's just up to us on how we step forward and manage all of this. So everyone is dealing with something here, and we're all playing our role exactly as we're meant to. And everything is perfect exactly as it is. And when we can come into that place of acceptance, it removes a lot of the barriers and resistance that could be holding other things back. You're welcome, Mike. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's any questions about the solar eclipse, so I'm going to leave it there. But love you guys so much, and I'm excited. This week on the podcast, I have Tawny Michelle coming on again. She's returning to the show, and she's been going through some major breakthroughs with her feminine energy and creation and intuition. She's just like on a download. I don't even know what to call it. She's on fire with her downloads, and I'm really excited to watch this kind of birth from her and what she's been going through. So I'll be having her on the podcast Tuesday night. It'll be a pleasure to have her back on the show. I really love her energy, so I hope you guys are there. And if there's what else is there? Is there anything else that I needed to mention? Yeah, if you're not already, please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. I will at some point very soon be deleting my Telegram channel and reinstating a new one. I just can't get rid of the fake sign. I don't know what else to do but to delete it and have to start over. So if you can't find the channel when that happens, just know that I'm going to post a link here in YouTube as well. And that's just what's happening there. All right, guys, I'm going to check out here. I love you all. Have a wonderful weekend. Be well with that solar eclipse. If you feel the fears coming up or any of those kind of barriers or whatever it might be, just know, though, that Jupiter and Venus are in Pisces, opening up the doors to your destiny, the North Node, and that big transformation with Pluto for you to dig deep. Okay, and to transform yourself and to do the things that are uncomfortable, to step past your fears and step onto your path of destiny. Big change is happening. It's meant to happen. That's what Uranus likes to do, likes to shake everything up. So expect for things to be shaken up. It can feel a little scary, but it is for your highest good right now. And there's a lot of supportive energy here to help you through it all. Guys, I love you so much. Have an awesome